The Charlotte Hornets, well, they just paid one player, but they paid one player too much in my eyes. The Charlotte Hornets paid Gordon Hayward $120 million for 4 years. He's getting $30 million a year. They have to do a sign-and trade to even make the salaries work and get rid of Nicholas Batum.
Did anybody know if it was all guaranteed?
I believe it was.
It should be. It's a basketball contract. They're usually all guaranteed, but, needless to say, I think
Danilo's contract isn't guaranteed.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Gordon Hayward's whole contract is guaranteed.
To me, I believe that this was the worst move in free agency. And if you were going to give a guy $30 million in Gordon Hayward, you might as well just trade for Russell Westbrook and not get Gordon and get a guy, get actually star. I like Gordon Hayward as a role player guy, not making the most money on my roster. The fact that he was able to capitalize on a max contract with the Celtics, then now with the Hornets, is really unbelievable. This is a guy who's been a borderline all-star when he's been at his best. He's a guy that you think about and say, should he be in the all-star game? I guess. He's not a guy that's a surefire all-star. And the last time he did it was with the Jazz, I believe in 2016. He hasn't been an all-star since then. And he's coming off a season where he averaged 17 points per game. But do you trust his health? I mean, I think in terms of basketball, it's a good fit. You got a guy who can score. But I think this was a bad move because the Hornets just freed up cap by, they were close to, because Nicholas Batum's awful contract was about to be over.
Yeah.
And now you get involved in another awful contract in Gordon Hayward. Like I said, I like the basketball fit. Just the whole optics of it and how much money they paid him, I think, was ridiculous. And they were willing to even pay Montrezl Harrell $19 million. So it would have been a trapped roster if they did that.
I think they were just scrambling at the moment. They were in need of just some type of good basketball being played in Charlotte. I do think, Gordon Hayward's a guy who, like you said, it's a good basketball fit. He could come in, he can score, he can play make, he can play average defense. So I think it's a good basketball. But $30 million, I don't know, because we've seen him for the past 2 years as a fourth option. The fourth option on Boston, it was, last year we seen him as a fourth option. The year before, as a third. So it's confusing. I don't know what we're going to see now. He's coming in as a number one. So we're going to see how he's really going to play. The last time we seen him as a number one was when he was actually fully healthy with Utah. And even then in Utah, their best player in the playoffs come down the stretch is Joe Johnson.
I'll be honest, though. I don't know if he'll be the number one, because I think
walking in, though,
at this point in their careers, Rozier, Graham, and Hayward are kind of all the same level scorers in terms of how they can score and stuff. So I think
Hayward is more efficient.
Definitely. But I think there'd be like a combo of the three. So maybe some nights Gordon has, maybe he doesn't. He'll be able to take a back seat and be able to let guys score, and also LaMelo's there. So who knows what he's going to be on day one.
And I personally hated this move. And I know that me and you talked about the Hornets the day that Riv couldn't be here, I believe 2 episodes ago now, when we were talking about the draft and everything. I was praising the Hornets. I thought that they had been doing a great job, and I thought they had a really nice crop of young talent between Bridges, P.J. Washington,
you're set at the 4th
Graham,
spot.
Rozier, and now bringing in LaMelo Ball. If they were going to sign somebody, why not go out and get a 5, the one position that you're pretty weak at?
Well, they brought back Bismack.
I don't think that this move made any sense, because now the next 4 years, basketball-wise, we were even talking before this deal about how many shots Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham were going to take away from LaMelo Ball. So now how many more shots is Gordon Hayward going to take away from him?
I think it'll make it easier for LaMelo to have better players. He can just
smooth into it, because now he's a great playmaker. That was always his best asset. So now
I think this move does help LaMelo, but I think it's just too much money for Gordon Hayward.
To be fair, Tobias Harris gets paid more.
If he didn't already have Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, I would agree. At least you're bringing in somebody to play alongside him. They already have that talent. Although it's all at the same position, maybe you could have went out and traded one of those two guys. I just don't like, again, like you said, the optics of it. Like, now you just brought in a guy that you hope is going to be a superstar, has the potential to be a superstar, and you're going to be taking the ball out of his hands more. And then on top of that, he's going to be blocking out younger guys like Bridges, like P.J. Washington, blocking minutes from them. And then for the next 4 years, you're going to be paying him $30 million a year, right? And that's coming right off the tails of the Batum contract. You already have Terry Rozier making $20 million a year. So, like, I just don't understand the spending of the cap, especially when there's better free agency classes coming up. You're building yourself to be a bit of a destination.
No superstar free agents coming to Charlotte, though.
You wouldn't think so, but there are certain draws to it. Michael Jordan in the front office.
I don't think so.
You have LaMelo, who's box office.
Their best bet is to build the draft.
I think that's one of the most overrated points that gets brought up with Charlotte. Michael Jordan's in the front office. Nobody cares.
Well, you say that, but you never know.
Players really care.
I bet you if
never
Michael Jordan
know.
was in the Knicks office, that you'd care.
No, I genuinely don't think that players care that Michael Jordan is in the front office, especially with the rep that Michael Jordan has gotten. With all due respect, as a human being, and being really mean.
For me, I wouldn't be surprised to see that be a draw for somebody.
He smacked Malik Monk in his head
because he made a mistake.
But come on, bro.
He little broed him. Like, what are you doing?
That's ridiculous, though.
What other owner would you want to play for other than the greatest
Charlotte,
of all time?
I think Charlotte should build through the draft. I think that's their best bet.
An owner that doesn't have
but they were doing
as
that.
An owner.
But they were doing that. They had LaMelo. They had Bridges. They had PJ Washington.
I think they brought Gordon Hayward in because, in a sense, it brings in that veteranship. You know, that guy who could come in, who knows how to win. In a sense,
they could have done that for not $120 million over 4 years.
Give me a better option.
Any other veteran in the league
DeMar
that wouldn't
DeRozan
have costed $30 million.
money.
It didn't have to be a star, though. That's the thing. It didn't have to be a star.
I mean, with me, I don't even think that they should have really brought a veteran. I think
I would have been fine with
they
this
should have
group.
just signed some guest veteran guys, but
fill out the end of the rotation.
Yeah, but I think the rotation of LaMelo, Rozier, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Malik Monk, Devontae Graham, Cody Zeller, Vernon Carey Jr., I think that would have been a good young stepping stone to something even better. I mean, now you give yourself a better chance to fall out of the lottery, if anything, with Hayward. And you need a star player, but even with Hayward, I think they're a lottery team. There's a slight chance they make the playoffs. Very slight.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're better than a team than like Atlanta. Or
exactly.
It really depends though, because it really just depends on how good LaMelo is.
We put them in that. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I put them in that category with the Bulls and the Knicks.
We put them in the category of fringe. They can if everything goes right.
I think them, us,
and the Knicks are in the same category. Are in the same boat.
But you overpay for players when you're in a position to win now, and you need you need one more guy to get you
100% agree.
You don't do it when you're not in any position to win at all.
And that was one of the biggest things I praised them for. I said they're doing a great job of getting themselves to a place where they can go out and get that star.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like they just jumped the gun. And I don't know why they did it. The one thing that I totally forgot to mention before, the play-in games have been implemented. So now anybody up to the 10th seed is going to have a even better shot of making the playoffs. So
they really that's official now.
It's official.
The Hornets were the 10th seed as well, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the 9-10. There's going to be the 9-10 game.
If the records are close, or just
whoever's the 10th seed. So whoever's the 10th seed and the 9th seed will play a game, and whoever's the 7th and 8th seed will play a game, and the winner.
So I'm gonna be honest. I think in terms of like talent wise and how high they can finish in the East,
they could.
I think
Charlotte and Atlanta are kind of the same. I think Atlanta's made more splash moves. But when you look at it, I think the Hornets can compete with them.
I think Atlanta has more talent, but again, like I said with Indiana, Charlotte just has a better fit.
I think Atlanta has more depth than Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to with talent.
On the young guys.
I think Atlanta
like 8 young guys.
I think Atlanta has too much question marks in terms of defense. I think Charlotte, you know much more what you're gonna get outside of LaMelo, because who knows how he's going to be.
Well,
but like, you know, I know Trae Young is a budding star, maybe superstar, but there's a scenario where LaMelo can be better than him because he's a 6'7"
down the line.
Yeah, or maybe if he comes really good off the bat, maybe he can be better than him as soon as next year in 2 seasons.
Because look at how quickly Trae developed.
Yeah, and if he's very good defensively, you know, you can go into a game. You know, if I'm going into a game and I'm Charlotte and I'm facing Atlanta, you know, I trust LaMelo to not only probably defend Trae Young pretty good.
Well, we're assuming that LaMelo's going to play the 1.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, he's a point guard. So if I'm going into a game and my point guard is LaMelo and theirs is Trae Young, I'm pretty confident that my guy can get the better of him that night.
Even though I think that Trae Young is the better player, I think that LaMelo has
is he
the advantage.
Really the better player?
I think LaMelo has the advantage in the matchup just because defensively LaMelo is better, so he has a better chance to stop.
I think LaMelo's question mark is defense, but I think he has all the talent to be a really great defender.
More defensive mindset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And wanting to play defense. Yeah. But he can definitely do it.
I think offensively, LaMelo could reach Trae Young's status very soon.
I think that this move was very short-sighted. It was a move of somebody that doesn't have a vision for down the line. Like
the Packers are playing right
now?
No.
Never mind. Go ahead. Just threw me off.
It's a vision of I feel like an owner and a team and a GM that just isn't looking to the future. They're looking to how can we make the playoffs right now, which if the Nets did that, but the Nets were in Brooklyn. They were this hip franchise.
You needed to do that.
Exactly. And it worked for them. They brought in the perfect pieces, and they trusted their system. I don't trust the Hornets to do the same, especially in Charlotte, where, like you said, what free agent is going to willingly go to Charlotte? You're, essentially hoping for a prayer. So I thought it was a bad move.
Hey, what's up, guys? You just finished watching a clip of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran.
My name is Jack Barteck.
My name is River Brown.
And we are your hosts for this podcast. We want to thank you guys for watching the clip. Like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you would care to, because it helps us grow. We're trying to make this a full-time thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting, and see you next time.